Dude, fuck, who needs an intro video? Can we swear? Is that a thing? Are we live?
I don't think that we are good enough to be able to.
I think it says end stream, so I don't know if it's like.
It says live.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah, we are. I see. Yeah. All right, we're good. All right, hey guys, what's up? If you can hear us, just add like a little comment in the chat so they know there's no technical difficulties. And yeah, I don't have to put my toaster in the bath because my microphone's busted. Tragic, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, so I cannot see any comments, so you're gonna have to read them.
Oh, what? Okay, that's odd. All right, yeah, I can do that. Oh man, it's been a while since I've been live on YouTube, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been a very, very long time.
Yeah, we've kind of been grinding. For everyone that's kind of watching, we've been like sort of grinding away. I'm going to close the YouTube thing because it's super distracting watching myself like lagging. Anyway, yeah, we've been absolutely like grinding away, refilling the Artist Accelerator course. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a step back from YouTube, but we are going to be finished up with that project pretty shortly and getting straight back into it. So that's exciting. But we just want to come on today, just kind of do a bit of a live, just talk about some of like the most frequently asked questions that we get from you guys as well as some of our students. And then we'll hang out for a bit at the end if you guys just want to shoot the shit and do like a bit of a Q&A. We've got the time, so we can just kind of go from there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or whatever, just drop them into the chat. We'll probably like, if it's like super relevant, we'll just get straight into it. But if it's not, then we'll just leave it towards the end and then we'll kind of tackle it all then.
And if it's crazy, I'm just going to ignore it.
Yeah, ignore all the crazy shit. We're getting a lot of people coming. We've got 25 now. Sweet. Okay.
Also, for everyone on here, it helps us out a ton if you thumbs up. It helps the reach of this so other people could get notified for it. So it costs you absolutely nothing. If you double tap the screen on most like devices, it'll just thumbs up and it helps us. So do it.
There's brands without tech support. Love it. Huge shout out to Father and Son Goosebumps. I don't know if that's your real name, but yeah, starting school in the first week of September. That's what I want. Sick, man. Looking forward to seeing you in the group. All right, cool. Let's get into it, bro. So the main things you want to cover, like there's generally 4 things we get asked about a lot by new tattooers, and the first one is, what are client red flags? Okay, there's definitely some tattoos that you, or some people that you definitely, you can kind of see them coming a mile away once you've had a bit of experience, and you sort of want to steer clear of tattooing, those types of design / people. But from your side, Brent, we'll kind of start with you. Was there ever a client in like early in your career that you just flat out said no to, or a tattoo that you've just turned down, just because the client was just like a red flag?
What's up, Logan? Nice to see you on here.
Dude, fuck, I've not seen you in ages, Logan. Fucking hell.
I talk to him once in a while. But
good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest. When I was first starting tattooing, like getting into it, I did not turn down anyone, because if I turned down someone, dude teaching me would have been pissed. He was like, just figure it out. So I did everything, which means I busted a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real thing. Hey, like if you're in, some shops will like pressure you to tattoo whatever walks in through the door, and if you don't do it, it's like you're throwing money out the window. So they're just like, they get mad. But,
plenty of red flags. Like, can you do it cheaper? All the basic red flags that you naturally come up with. But when you're in a situation like that, you don't really have a choice. So you just kind of do it. Which, honestly, knowing all that kind of led me into opening up my own studio and kind of like being able to branch out and get away from all that shit. So, things happen for a reason. Got to get through some struggles to get to where you want to be.
You ever done a couples tattoo where you thought it wasn't going to work out?
Every one I ever do.
Yeah, that's I remember my first mentor when I asked him about like tattooing people's names. He's just like, man, my ink is stronger than your love. It's like that's what he used to tell me. It's just like, yeah, man, the tattoo will last way longer than especially if they're young too. Like if they're like an 18-year-old guy comes in, he wants his like missus name on his neck. It's like, bro, man, in 6 months you're going to be separated. But yeah, I've done so like that's probably the most covered up thing would be names for sure.
I mean, I have 2 names covered up on me.
There you go.
It'd be like that.
I have script that's covered up, but it's not a name. It's something else that I no longer represent. I had boats and hoes on my phone.
That's sick. I would keep that.
You ever see Step Brothers? Yeah, I was from that. But yeah, so I mean, I've definitely I turned down a couple tattoos, mostly because like the gang or like just stuff that I wasn't comfortable doing. Like I once had this guy come in the shop. He would have been like 16 years old, and he comes in. He's got like a German Nazi swastika eagle thing, and I'm like, bro, do you even know what that means? It's like, yeah. It's just like, dude, you're 16 years old. This is like, why would you want to? Yeah, I just felt really bad for the kid, man. Like I said, no, but man, I guarantee we just went down the shop down the road and got it done anyway, which really sucks. But stuff like that, because that can really come back to bite you in the ass like later. Like if you do the tattoo and you get the money like up front, it can do so much damage to your career.
That's going on right now. There's a tattoo shop that tattooed that exactly, and he put it out there like, hey, this has nothing to do with the hate stuff. It's a part of tattooing and history. And everyone's like, nah, I'm pretty sure we know what that means. And they like had their shop like spray painted over, being like Nazi scum and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, I think I saw, was that place that got vandalized? I think, in Oregon, was it? Yeah, I heard Jason Sweet was talking about that. If any of you guys don't follow him, he's been in tattooing a really long time. He has like definitely some wisdom. You should guys should check him out.
I'll get some comments now. Let me see a comment. Damn, who hurts y'all so pessimistic about a relationship? I just see it. It's in my face all the time. I've tattooed so many names and then had to cover up those names. I've tattooed names and had to cover up the names with other names. So
that's a trip.
I'm also going to say that I've never been hurt. I have a very, I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I think I've just, I worked, my first shop was right between a brothel and a methadone clinic. So and we were open late on a Friday night. So we would get the most interesting characters that you've ever seen come into a tattoo shop. There's one.
This way to say terrible is interesting.
I was being nice, but yeah, the worst couples tattoo that I ever did. So this guy came in. He was like a Wednesday morning, reeked of alcohol. Like you could just smell it on him, and he looked disheveled and like he'd had a hard life and a rough night. But anyway, he comes in, and you can tell like he's missing an eye. Like he literally had one eye, and you could tell this is like, okay, this guy's like
a pirate.
Yeah. He didn't have a patch up. He was just raw dogging it. He just had I don't even know. There was nothing. But he walks in with his girlfriend, who was like definitely way less into drugs than what he was. But anyway, she was getting his name tattooed on him. Okay, and I'm like, whatever, no problem. People are going to do what they're going to do. I was I didn't want to judge. So I was doing the tattoo, and we get about halfway through. And I just had to ask because the guy was like, sometimes when you tattoo a couple, the partner will want to watch you tattoo them because they're like, oh, don't, if you don't flirt with my girlfriend or something while you're tattooing, it's super annoying and weird. But anyway, so he was one of those. And I just had to ask him, it's like, bro, how did you lose your eye? And he's just like, yeah, man. So I got real drunk one night. I was hanging out with the boys and I grabbed a beer bottle and I tried to break it over my own head. And it was like a spirits bottle, so the glass was really thick. So a couple times it didn't do nothing, so he kept doing it harder. And then eventually it broke and the glass just cut his eye out. Yeah. And that was the guy who the girl was getting his name tattooed on a body. And towards the end of it, it's like, oh, this is actually the second time but I've had it done. I'm like, what? And she's like, well, yeah, like he cheated on me like last year, so I got it covered up, and now we're back together, so I'm getting it back on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go in detail, but everyone can insinuate, but his game must be good as
Yeah, 100%.
He has a missing eye, and getting the girl back, you got something going on.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, maybe he's got like a really good personality, who knows.
Yeah. See the comments. Megan, I don't hurt anyone. I am nice to everyone.
One dog in his eye hole. Yeah. Fantasy
husband doesn't want a man tattooing me. That's I'm not going to go into that, but like it's do you with your relationship, but I could say that I have no intention with any of my clients.
Yeah, you got to keep it. It's really unfortunate. Like a lot of artists have a bad reputation for that. Like it's a profession at the end of the day. You have to be professional. And if you're not, like, man, we all know a creepy tattooer. Like if you go in any town, like there's always like rumors around, wherever. Like Brand, it's even in like there's people in fucking Fayetteville that Gallatin, my bad. Fayetteville is where I used to live, Gallatin, but there's like tons and tons of stories and stuff like that. I mean, it's just destroys your career. Like,
I understand. I would say, don't think about male or female. Just go with a good artist. Like, if they are that way, you're gonna hear about it. So like, just
you typically know before you walk in the door. Like, dudes that do that are generally very well known.
It's pretty easy to tell.
You'll see them kind of coming a mile away. Has a client ever robbed you?
No, we got guns here.
Yeah.
This is America.
I can confirm Brennan has more guns than anyone I know. Which isn't really saying much because I come from Australia. And
very true.
Like, if you have a gun in Australia, you are a serious dude. But in America, everyone's got them. Like, even the old lady at like the grocery store, which is wild.
So I've never been robbed or attempted to be robbed ever.
Yeah, same here. I've had people like that have like they've not had enough money for the tattoo, or they've like tried to run off or something like that after getting tattooed, but no one's ever like walked in and held up the register and be like, give me all the cash. So yeah, it's not, I didn't work in that part of town. So
I did. Yeah. I worked at a pretty rough shop. And we dealt with a lot of crazy people, but never like, you tattoo with someone for a long period of time, they get an idea of what you're about. And like, I will chase someone. I will find you. So
especially if they got a fresh tattoo, like, that's definitely going to affect their running speed, especially if it's on the leg,
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I hear some stories about it. Who knows? Like, you'd have to be a crazy person to try to get a tattoo, especially like, industry's kind of changing nowadays, but like 10 years ago, they will find you, break your foot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say that word, but break your legs.
That's when tattooing was tough back then. Whereas now we're all like,
I mean, what do you do if a client can't pay and tries to run off? I have their ID, so I find them or call the police and be like, hey, they robbed me.
Yeah, that's generally what you do. You get the cops involved. Getting the cheese grater out, it doesn't help anyone. Like, this doesn't, you're not going to get your time back, and they're going to walk out with a horrific wound. But anyway, next commonly asked question that we have you had a client pass out?
Yes, a few times.
Same.
The most traumatic one, I would say, is I went to the shop super early. I think I was like going to drop my kid off at school. Oh yeah, I was going to drop my kid off at school. I'm pretty bad with schedules with schools, so I don't look that up. And it was a day that the school was closed, and I was like, cool. I woke up super early for no reason at all. So I was like, okay, kid, you're just coming with me to the shop today because I don't read, obviously. So we went to the shop. I was tattooing a lady, and it was on her her arm, and she was kind of like sitting up with the armrest, and she was like, "Just give me a second. I'm not feeling very well." And she goes to like stand up, and I'm like, "Okay, just hold up." And she goes down hard,
Wow.
and broke her glasses, and her boyfriend was outside smoking. And my daughter comes up, and she was like, "Is she dead?" Like freaking out. Like I was like, "No, she's not dead. Go get her boyfriend to come in." She was like crying. It was super traumatic. It was like, "Everything's okay. This happens." But yeah, she like came to, was bleeding in the face. It was that was my most traumatic one.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
I remember Jay. For those of you guys who don't know Jay, Jay was actually the original founder of Tattooing 101. He's actually back on helping us out with some marketing stuff. But yeah, he told me a story of when he was tattooing in a shop in Hawaii. They were on like the second floor, so it's like a flight of stairs. And yeah, there was a client that they tattooed him. They started walking down the stairs, and then just like randomly, like just like not like, because it doesn't always happen during the tattoo. Sometimes it can happen like 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, and they're just like all messed up from the blood sugars and stuff like that. And yeah, she like fell down the stairs and like messed herself up pretty bad. Worst I've ever had. This is when I was at Celebrity Inc. No, was it Celebrity? Yeah, I was at Celebrity Inc. There was a guy getting his chest tattooed, and he just went full seizure mode. Like he just went and started like shaking, and I've just like put my gloves against his chest to kind of keep him on the chair. I thought it was having like an epilepsy thing, but he's just like has like a spasm, and then he kind of comes to and just acts like nothing happened. Like, bro.
Yeah, some people, especially in like jujitsu and stuff, like when they go out, they'll make funny noises and like seize up, but they're not actually having a seizure. It's just like weird. You have some crazy dreams when you get knocked out too. I don't know if have you ever been knocked out?
I've been hit in the head, but I don't think I've been knocked out.
I've been knocked out quite a few times in my life, buddy. But
builds character.
Yeah, and kills some brain cells. But yeah, let's answer this question real quick because a lot of people have it. So after going through Tattooing 101, if I haven't done a proper apprenticeship, will I be able to get hired into a shop? Yeah. So there's tons of students that go through the AAP and are able to get into a studio. And here's what you have to think about is a studio doesn't necessarily care. And they're not even going to ask. If you have good work, like if I went into any studio, they did not know who I was. I could say that I started tattooing 6 months ago. And if they look at the tattoos that I could do, and I could replicate that in person in front of them, I'm getting hired. There's just no doubt about it. I'm going to get hired somewhere that I want to. So,
especially like as well, if it's like, by the way, I also understand hygiene. You've got a BBP, and like you don't do anything dumb when you're like touching stuff without gloves and stuff like that.
The biggest problem people have is if like you're not really focusing on learning the stuff and like actually effectively putting it into work, like practicing and understanding and building that up. You could, I could watch a ton of videos on something, but if I'm not actively trying to gain that knowledge and use it, you'll never get better. So it all falls on you to put into the work, and then you will have no problem getting into a shop. I mean, the artist I have with me right now, I have the ability to, pick, because of like how immersed I am in the tattoo industry now, I could pick anyone and realistically have them as apprentice. But Tim went through the AAP and then private coaching, and he's dope. Like he works with me now, and it's awesome. Like I couldn't.
He also works super hard though. He's consistent as hell.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean that's all that matters.
Another thing I'd say as well, it's like it's important to realize like why, like because like there's no secret, like a lot of old school tattooers don't like online education, not because it doesn't work, but because it diminishes the meaning of their suffering. They had to go through all this bullshit to be able to get to becoming a tattoo artist, like years and years of pain. And now it's like it almost like doesn't mean anything anymore because you don't have to do it. But industries evolve over time, right? So when you come in and you say it's just like, oh, hey, like, the first thing you say is that you learned like online, you got to skip all the stuff that they went through. They're almost immediately angry, not because you don't know how to tattoo, but it's just like they're frustrated that they had to go through hell and you did it. Right. So rather than just leading with, oh, by the way, I know everything I learned online, lead with your art. Okay. Show them the portfolio. It's just like, hey, and then, when it comes up in conversation, later after they've seen your work, after they've had a conversation with you and they can tell you're not weird. Because that's a big thing too, right? When you're in a tattoo shop, you're going to be around these people 5 days a week.
They become your family.
Yeah, 48. Yeah, they become your family 48, 50 weeks a year. You want to make sure that you're not like strange, like, difficult to talk to or be around. And if you're chill and you've got good work, then, and especially if you have a social media presence as well. I think that's often sometimes neglected by a lot of people that are learning how to tattoo. If you just document the journey while you're learning how to tattoo, and then you have, 5, 10, 15, 20 people lined up to get tattoos before you even walk in the door, it's a very different conversation. You're not just going in there trying to take value from the studio. It's just like, hey, man, like, I know how to tattoo. Okay. Like, I've put in a ton of work on my own. I've got clients that I'm bringing into the studio. Okay, all that shop owner has to say is yes, and they're going to make an extra $30,000 to $50,000 a year without having to do anything. It's a very easy question, or it's a much more different ask when you're coming from that position, as opposed to, I don't know anything, please teach me how to tattoo for the next 2 years.
And here's the thing, everyone. I think, I'm always going to be openly honest with everything, and I think people believe that, this is such a go-free industry to get into, and it's changing a ton. But like, no matter what you want to do in life, it's still going to be hard. You're going to have trade-offs with everything, right? And I think that's like something that everyone should understand, to where, everything's going to be hard. But if you actually have a passion for this and want to do it, nothing is going to stop you. The only thing that's ever going to stop you from doing anything is yourself. So
there's no more gatekeeping anymore. We killed it. Like, we did the thing that we set out to do. It's like, if you want to learn how to tattoo, man, even if you don't go with us, there's other people doing the same thing that we're doing. And like, the information is readily available. It's just, now it just comes down to, it's like, who do you like? Who do you resonate with the most, and who do you want to learn from? And it's like, man, this like, despite there not being gatekeeping, it's like, man, now you can just jump the fence and get in. Like, it's just like the only thing that's in your way is you. And even if you're in a state that requires a license, because it's like half the states in America require a license and half don't. Okay, all you've got to do, if the state requires a license and you haven't done the apprenticeship and you've done the online course, again, you bring in a portfolio, tattoos on fake skins, because you want to do things by the book. And when you go into a studio, same deal. You can demonstrate. It's just like, yep, I've got a full setup. I'm knowledgeable about needle codes. I know how to use a machine. I've demonstrated that with the quality of my work. Okay. And you can show awesome tattoos you've done on fake skins, and you can also show that you've got a social media presence, like you've been building up your personal brand. Okay, they're not going to hold you down for 2 years when you already know how to do the thing. At that point, it's a paper apprenticeship. You're going to come in, okay, and then like, okay, this person can already tattoo. Like, they'll probably want to see you do a few in front of them first, like supervise, and then as long as you tick that box and you do a good job, you use everything that you've learned on the fake skins and you do well, then at that point you're just treated like a regular artist. But you on paper you'll be an apprentice for 1-2 years, however long it is, and then you'll be, after that you'll get signed off, and then you go out and you tattoo. If your work's not quite up to scratch and you still need like a bit of extra time, then maybe you might have to do 2-3 months. And then you'd be a normal artist like everyone else in the studio.
Do you have these Red Bulls there, Nathan? White peach?
No.
They're the shit.
I'm in Asia right now, so we got them weird, like Thailand, like super constant. It's like syrup. It's
you tried to buy me one of them, and I was like, no, that looks like it's going to kill me.
Yeah. There's use a 50-50. 50-50.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get sponsored. So product placement, Red Bull. Reach out to my people, which I don't have people, so call me.
You do get people call the shop though.
Yeah, I do.
You're 100%. All right, let's keep rolling.
Also, if you just joined, give us a thumbs up. You can double tap your screen. It helps us get reach and stuff, so more people see this. It helps us out a ton, and just costs you 2 flexes of your finger.
It's one small step towards arthritis, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Very small step. Let's keep. Actually, we've got a couple more questions in the chat. Have you ever had clients flirt with you, give you their number?
I'm a married man, so I can't answer that question.
Hey,
I'm a married man.
It's you like it'll. I think it'll happen to any tattoo. Like everyone wants free tattoos. Everyone wants free tattoos, and some people are willing to do more than others to get those tattoos. But you have to remain professional. Okay, you have to remain professional.
Stay on the course, boy.
It's your career. It's literally don't mix business and pleasure because it's just dumb. Okay, and it's so not worth it. It'll sink your career. So.
No.
Yeah, it happens, but you just have to be professional. Kind of, I imagine like what it would be if you're a bouncer. You know what I mean? You just have to. It's like you're there to watch the door, nothing else.
And it, like, for some reason, that's like acceptable. Like, I don't go into my doctor and he's like checking me out. I'm in there in a robe, and he's like,
"Yeah,
hey, can I give you my number?" And he's
there's no other profession where it's like that. Like if you go to a
yeah.
It's like when the pizza guy comes in, it's like, oh no, I don't have any money for the pizza.
Yeah. Come on in, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do it. It's not good. Let's keep rolling. What do you think is the hardest style to tattoo as a beginner, and what do you think is the easiest style, in your opinion, Brandon?
Hardest style is the one that you're not good at, honestly. That
the
is
one that you like the least.
Yeah. Realistically, there is no hard style. Like, all the fundamentals are fairly simple. If you follow it and practice it and get good with it, you could do any style. That's been proven. There's no fancy secret to tattooing different stuff. It's the same stuff implemented differently. So if you have been drawing cartoons and anime your whole life and want to get into realism, that shit's going to be hard. Yep. But you could transfer that into neo-trad fairly easily, or Japanese traditional. So that's not a question that there is an easier or harder, but there is the easiest way to learn tattooing, which is traditional, because it's going to teach you all of those steps to be able to implement the fastest and most efficient. And that's been proven over the history of tattooing. So that just is my aspect of things.
I would quickly chime in there that I feel like sacred geometry would be way up there. I mean, that's like, there's literally no room for error in that. If you're doing like all these like perfectly straight lines and circles and stuff like that,
I ain't doing that shit. That's a headache.
Yeah, it's probably the hardest to execute. Probably maybe followed by like micro realism or something like that. It's just very small margin for error. Like, whereas when you're doing like, realism, like it's much like when you're first starting out, using a mag is way easier than a liner. Yeah. So it's a lot more forgiving. So a lot of people think that realism is actually quite hard, but tattooing is not the hard thing. It's the art that's hard. Okay. We literally teach people how to tattoo, and we've been doing it for like the last 5 years. Anyone can do it, but not everyone can be a world-class, like artist, unless you have to like work at it every single day.
Yeah.
But like, tattooing is definitely easy.
You've given up a lot of your life to learn how to draw.
Yeah.
I preferred partying. That's why I was a trad artist for so long.
Oh, well, it's just like a nerd staying home drawing.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I did all these with my bare hands.
Yeah. And I was over there like, nerd.
That hurts my feelings. Anyway, we're getting a bunch of these. All right, we'll do a couple more. You got one from Finger Flick the World F. Man, there's some whack names, dude. All right, let's so kind of what I was thinking. Traditional apprenticeship is almost dying because of the internet. Yeah, dude. Literally everything that you would learn in an apprenticeship, like you can actually teach someone how to tattoo very quickly when you just cut out all of the additional stuff like the coffee runs and the cleaning and all that stuff. When you're in an actual apprenticeship, you're drip fed scraps of information over a very long and extended duration of time, whereas we just give it to you. Like it's all there. It's the same amount of info. And like, man, a lot of apprenticeships will have gaps. You know, like, man, show me like an apprentice that learns how to do like social media marketing. Like, man, that was not covered at all in my apprenticeship. It's so critical to success as an artist. Like, I think it's, if you teach someone how to tattoo, you've got to show them social media because they're not going to be successful without it.
Okay, it makes sense. His YouTube name's for fingerboarding. I was thinking everyone knows where I'm going, so I'm not going to say it.
Trying to get it cancelled.
No.
Thanks for answering, Phils. That's what we're here for, guys. We just want to kind of come on and go live because it's just way more intimate. No.
Well, your turn. Let's reset.
Okay, we're getting back on track. All right. I think we this kind of comes on nicely. This next question. So a big thing that comes up now is how do you actually become a tattoo artist? There's three main ways. Okay. Bren, do you want to kind of run through those?
I mean, it sounds like you kind of have like the structure. If I had
there's three main ways to get into tattooing these days, right? Before there used to only be one. Okay. But back in the day, it was eat glass for like 4 years straight and suffer. But there's three ways, right? The first way is you can do a traditional apprenticeship, which is what me and Brandon did. Okay. I did not touch a tattoo. I wasn't allowed to tattoo myself until I was a year in. A year. I did not even pick up a tattoo machine for one, and that was on me, on my thigh. I did all of this shit.
Can you at least let you like look at it? Be like, yeah, you want to touch it, don't you?
Oh no, like I get to touch it when I was like breaking down the station and stuff like that, but I never tattooed. And then by like the second year, I think I tattooed my first client, and then it's very slow. Okay. Apprenticeships, you don't pay with money, you pay with time. Some of them you pay with money. Like some apprenticeships, they'll want like a few grand to teach you. They're generally faster if you don't get scammed. Just because you don't have to kind of like pay as many dues if you go that route. But if it's like a free apprenticeship or whatever, you pay with time. Okay, you're going to be working for free for a couple of years, and even if you don't need that long to learn, they will make you work that long because that's your way of like earning the knowledge, right? And that's what me and Brandon did. My apprenticeship went for 4 years. Brandon, your apprenticeship situation was also pretty whack.
Yeah. I would say my last one was just like a paper apprenticeship. I wasn't treated like an apprentice, so I wouldn't, legally speaking, yes, it was an apprenticeship, but I wouldn't really classify it as that. But yeah, I still went through 2 BS apprenticeships. So
yeah. But props to you for not giving up. Though a lot of people would have quit after that. But that's the first one, right? The traditional apprenticeship. And if they're quite difficult to do unless you're like a kid, unless you're like 18 to like 25, because after that you start having kids, you got bills, you got mortgages and stuff like that. It's pretty difficult to go without an income, unless you start trapping or something like that. But it's a massive undertaking. Okay, I'm lucky I got started when I was young. I was 20 years old when I got into tattooing. But that's the first way. If you're dead set on getting an apprenticeship, expect to be there for a couple of years. You're going to be cleaning, doing coffee runs. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with tattooing. There's not a whole lot of structure as well. Like my apprenticeship was literally, I was just allowed to hang out there, and I was watching the other tattoo artists tattoo, and I could ask questions, but I didn't even know what to look for. I didn't know the difference between an 8 gauge or a 10 gauge or a 12 gauge needle. I didn't know why they were using a round shader instead of a liner. I didn't even know what to ask. I had no guidance and no direction. So I just kept bumping against the walls, banging my head against the walls with trial and error, trying to figure stuff out. And that's, partly why it took so long. Also a lot of hazing too. Okay. It's not because, well, it is actually, but you have to understand that the people that came before you had it way worse, and the people that came before them also had it way worse. And there's just like this transferring of trauma that goes down the chain.
Okay, so I would say I have kind of a different view of this because I was kind of in the world, but I would say that, shops kind of started as like the biker thing, right?
Yeah.
In apprenticeships, we're kind of viewed as prospecting. So the hazing that you get from prospecting in a motorcycle club, it kind of dribbled over into the tattooing world. And, I was about that life in both sides for a period of time. And it's pretty the same, like you'll never do anything right, getting all that stuff. So, it's kind of I believe that it kind of came from that, which kind of stuck for way too long. Older I get, I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. But it's normal. It's normal. This is actually a really good question before. I don't want to cut you off, but how to deal with creepers during apprenticeships. It's pretty simple. Like, I've talked to plenty of people that reach out to me on this subject. And the only thing that you can really do is leave. Like, it's not going to get better. It's always going to get worse. No doubt.
Yeah. Like, if you're the creep tattoo, it's like he's not going to just suddenly stop being a creep.
Yeah, he's not going to change his life. And the only thing you could do, like, I highly recommend not sticking with it just for a piece of paper. Like, that could put you in a lot of very unhealthy situations and make you want to quit tattooing. Yeah. So my best advice for dealing with that is F them. They could destroy their lives on their own. You don't need to be there for it. You don't need to see their downfall. You could just get out of there, find a better shop. And, for every terrible shop there is out there like that, there's plenty of good ones, and or have bigger friends, and then they take care of it for you. That is not legal, but
exactly. And that's the thing too. Like, if your art is good, like it's difficult to get into a tattoo shop when your art's not where it needs to be. But when your art is dope, it's a key that opens every door. Like, for example, like when I worked at Celebrity Inc., I no questions were asked about my past. I literally came in, I just said, "Hey, you guys looking for artists?" And they're like, "Yeah, bro, we're always looking. Have you got a portfolio?" I literally just gave them my phone. I just gave it, like, "Oh, there's my Instagram." It's like, "Oh, cool. When can you start?" I brought my shit in that afternoon. I was tattooing the next day. But, if you go somewhere, it's just like, you can't do a straight line, or like, you can't, sort of draw super well, then it's very difficult to get into a tattoo studio. The better you get with your art, the more time that you put into your art, and the better your portfolio is, the easier it is to get into a shop.
Yeah. But back to what you were saying, way number 3.
Yeah, the way, no, I think we're up to number 2. The other way is you can learn online, right? Or you can do like an online course like what we do. Basically, it just lets you skip all of the hazing, all of the prospecting or whatever, and you just get straight to learning. Okay. This is not without its cons, though. It's like, you've got to be super disciplined when you're learning online, right? If you don't stay consistent, you don't practice consistently, because there's no one breathing down your neck. There's no big scary biker dude that's saying, "What the fuck's your drawings today?" You have to be sort of self-disciplined and self-motivated. But yeah, for those guys that want to learn and still, have a life and keep their job and things like that, and just kind of learn on the side, and that's a really good way in. But yeah, that's the second way. And then the third way is just DIY and just like wing it, raw dog it, basically.
You need to stop saying that. This is not serious when you're talking like that.
It's I wouldn't, like, man, there's no reason to DIY it anymore. It's just like, man, even if you don't get like a tattooing course or something like that, there's tons of stuff like on YouTube and things like that available for you to just get a tattoo machine and not get any guidance or watch any videos or anything like that, and just try and figure it out on your own. It's just like, it's just unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like, when I started, there was nothing online. The only way to learn was to go to a shop and throw yourself at the mercy of whoever owned it. But now there's no excuse. There's so many resources available. You don't have to wing it.
Speaking of resources, I feel like we're really limiting our reach with the fact that you're so jacked and you're not shirtless. It's kind of affecting the call.
I'm not taking my clothes off, man. It's the wrong platform.
Yeah, very true.
Link in bio. $5.99 a month. Yeah, no, we don't have an OF. There's no plans for a tattooing 101 OF yet. No. Anyway,
Number 3.
Let's keep going. I'm just looking through the questions now. Can you see them on? You can't see them on your end at all, can you, Brendan?
Wait, the questions from people?
Yeah, like the comments.
Yeah, I can see them now.
Okay, there you go.
I've been answering them.
You're great. So am I. Duchess of Darkness, you guys need a show. It's cool seeing all the aspects of your careers and lives. I think it would be dope. I mean, this kind of is our show. Like, yeah, this is the Tattooing 101 show.
Huh?
But yeah, I'm just reading this, responding to the comments.
I was reading them too, so I did not. I have a problem tuning out everything when I'm reading, so I did not hear anything you just said.
Appreciate to Finger Flick is saying to watch our videos and that them are the most informative. That's dope. Spotify codes. Yeah, dude, doing Spotify codes and tattooing those on people. It's funny. It's a very short-lived tattoo, right? Have you done any like barcodes or like those ones where you can scan them and it makes a sound, like a sound wave?
Oh yes, I have done one of them. 2 of them. Yeah, they were really big for a month.
Yeah. And then they start working when the ink, when they age and stuff like that, and then there's tears and it's. But anyway, someone said, "Is it okay to post a tattoo result that designed on Pinterest? Lay it out, Brendan. Give them the reality."
It's a double-edged sword because everyone has done a Pinterest tattoo, me included. And I have posted Pinterest tattoos when I was first starting, because like any sort of acknowledgement of a tattoo is good acknowledgement, even if it's like, that's a Pinterest tattoo. You know, when you're first starting, it really doesn't matter. Like, that's what people want. They want a little anchor with an infinity sign. Like, how am I going to redo that? You know, not going to happen. So yeah, when you're first starting out, you know, you might get hate from artists and all that stuff. But if you're trying to build up a portfolio to get clients, all that stuff, you're like already in a studio, then post the shit, you know, like
I think as well that there's a certain level of ego, especially around the guys that can draw really good. This is what I see with artists that are actually very good. They have like this resistance to doing like these little moneymaker tattoos because like, I only do my own flash. It's just like, man, you have to earn that in tattooing. Like, it takes a lot of years to, I mean, unless you're a social media wizard, then you can do it a lot faster. But typically not doing only exclusively your own flash from day one. Okay, you kind of got to do whatever walks in the door initially. And then as you start to build up a reputation, you start to draw more flash and you slowly build up that portfolio. Then you can kind of transition to doing, you know, more of the stuff that you want to do and become known for something.
There's another point I'd like to touch base on. And I'm going to get some hate for this, but it's all right. The fact that anytime you see someone copy a tattoo, it's never better than the original.
Yeah.
Like, if you do better than what they did, you're going to get a lot less hate for it, you know?
Because people think that they copied you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it all comes down to your level of tattooing, really. You know, anytime someone posts it, it's always like a side by side. This guy copied the tattoo, and it is a dramatic difference, right?
Yeah.
They're going after copying the best of the best. No one's ever calling someone out for tattooing a Pinterest rose and clock, because it has been done by all of us. Like, we have bills. Yeah. We have to make money at the end of the day. So, like, we're going to do the shit. We're just not going to post it.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. When you're looking, it's like, am I going to eat steak tonight or ramen noodles?
Yeah, fucking steak all day. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I've done a bunch of Pinterest tattoos before. I think there's a big difference too. Like, man, if you rip an entire back piece, that's very different than doing like a small little, you know, Pinterest cross or something like that. Yeah, that's like a custom piece of art that someone has painstakingly drawn for like 15 hours. And then that's like a one-of-one piece. That's very different to being, you know, just taking like a star or something like that. That's like very, very little.
But at the end of the day, whenever anyone posts something online, we're at the point, if you have a dope back piece, there is someone going to be walking around with that back piece. Like that is the nature of the beast. Someone's going to do it. Hopefully, it's less good than the one you have, but that is what it is.
It's fun. So like I've seen my stuff get ripped. I've seen, and locally too, like shops like in New South Wales where I came up, and it's like, you know, it's like, man, I've done a few Pinterest tattoos before. It's just like I'm not as militant as what I used to be when I first started. Like when I first started, it's like, no, it's like I'm only doing my drawing, because I was one of those people. I was one of those guys that only wanted to do my own stuff. And then I got humbled by tattooing a few times, and I starved for a little bit. And then I kind of came back to reality, and now it's just like,
if I knew you back then and you posted your drawings, I would have ripped your shit.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Be like, can I steal from Nathan and not go party tonight, or still go party?
Oh, well, no, man, dude, in the beginning, all I drew was new school. So, like, even though I could draw, it's just like, man, I didn't get busy until I started doing stuff that people actually wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's another question. I can't draw for shit, but I want to do tattoos. Troy. That was actually one of the other questions. Like, this is literally on our little list thing for FAQs to go through. Can you tattoo if you can't draw? Okay, so a couple of things. I mean, it's going to make it easier if you can. Like, it's absolutely going to make it easier. There's plenty of tattoo artists, like especially the realism guys. You know, they just do, they literally, you know, trace photographs and tattoo, and they're very good technically, but, you know, artistically, a lot of them can't really draw that well. But drawing's a skill, and it can be learned. I was not born with it. My drawings were shit when I first started, and they were shit for a long time. And then they became slightly less shit until they were so not shit that they were almost good, and then they got better and better and better from there. But it takes time. You can learn it. No one's born like an artist more than one person or the other. It's something that you've kind of got to work at. But yeah, if you can't draw, you're going to be doing a lot of flash. You're going to be doing a lot of Pinterest stuff, and you know, it's just, you're not going to have the creative freedom that a lot of artists have, which is kind of what makes a job fun. But yeah, I mean, it is possible. Like, there's a lot of guys that do realism that can't draw for shit. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, here's a good question, Nathan. Does anyone know if the monthly 12-month tattoo one-on-one option is cancelable, or is it a contract?
Yeah, dude, it's a payment plan. So if you do the payment plan, and you know, life happens, whatever, like, you know, the wheels fall off your car and you need to like stop. You just message our support. Your email replies at tattooing101.com, just like, hey guys, I can't keep going with this. And then all that will happen is they'll just turn off the payments. You'll lose access to the course, but yeah, I'm not going to send like someone around to your home to like break your legs. It's not how we roll. We don't do that here, man. Yeah, it's also a payment plan too. A lot of people think it's a subscription. It's like, dude, you only pay it for 12 months and then you have it for life. Like, if you choose the payment plan option. So yeah, we're not like a debt collector agency or something like that.
Everyone hates them.
They do. Thanks for joking around with me, dudes. Lol, you guys. Oh, thanks, man.
Bro, how are you so far back there?
All right, I'll skip. I mean, I'll skip ahead. Fuck it. All right.
I've been answering them.
Robin, I want to be a tattoo artist. As a teenager, I'm getting my GED. I've done my research and I've been working on my art, but how do you go about wanting to pursue tattooing if your parents have prejudice?
Ooh. My parents didn't like it.
Mine. My parents didn't like it either.
I mean, at the end of the day, your parents aren't going to like anything that isn't making you money right away. You know, they are seeing the dream, and dreams die. It is a part of it. If you don't put in the time, dreams will die. Is it a whole lot easier to go work at Chick-fil-A? I say Chick-fil-A because that is what I'm hungry for right now. But it's easier. You go there, you clock out, you come home, and just do the same thing every day. But chasing after a dream, there's a lot to gain, but also possibility of a lot to lose.
Well, not if you're young though, because here's the thing, right? Now, like you mentioned that you're getting your GED. Like, so I'm assuming you're still in high school. It's like, bro, there will never be a better time in your life to take massive risks. You should be 100%. You should be start that business, man.
Yeah.
You know, get that loan, like become a tattoo, do whatever, because man, it's not when you're in a place where you've got kids and you've got a mortgage and stuff like that, you cannot take those risks. You know, like you can literally fuck up for the next 5 years and still be fine. You'll be 23.
I've been there. I was 100% there.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, inside of the mastermind group, I do throwback photos of like what I was like when I was like 18, 19, 20. It's like, dude, I was a drunk, man. I was a drunk for up until like 25. I was good at it, and not much else. And I turned out like fine because I got my shit together. But
I also dabbled in the devil's saliva quite a bit.
Yeah.
Days.
Yeah. Now we're both nerds. We're sober, but yeah, dude. If your parents have prejudice, they're just worried that every parent pictures the worst case scenario. They just don't want you to end up on the street. You know what I mean? So all you got to do is you have a conversation. It's like, hey guys, look, this is what I want to do. This is the age that I'm at. This is how long I'm gonna try it for, or whatever. And if it doesn't work out, I'll be 23, 24, and then I can just go to university or college or whatever, and then you'll be fine. That's kind of, if you just approach it like logically like that and show that you've like thought about it, then that'll kind of get them off your back, or it should. Or then you can just do what I did and just say, fucking do it anyway. My parents hated it.
That's how I was.
My mom thought I was going to become a drug addict and I was going to become like a criminal, and I was like, nah, man, I just like doing tattoos. So
I just look like a criminal. I'm not one though.
Yeah, the biggest thing I can say is like, man, there'll never be a better time in your life than when you're young to swing for the fences, bro. Swing for home runs.
Yeah, jump out of planes, obviously with parachutes, and like do crazy stuff. Because then you get old and you can't do that.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Take super big risks when you're young, massive risks, because as you get older, you can't, or it's harder. It's a lot harder, and the stakes are a lot higher too. It's just like if you lose your job when you've got 2 kids, it's just like, oh, this is really bad. But if you're 18, it's just like, I go sleep on my mate's couch. It's fine. But yeah, let's keep rolling. You want to take the reins for a bit, Brandon?
Yeah. Hold on. I got to read something real quick. Is it because they are religious? I am, and I feel as long as I don't tattoo anything evil, demonic, then I have a clear conscience. So, that's if I'm a very religious man. It keeps me on the straight and narrow.
You go to church, eh?
Yeah. So, and if you look at the tattoo I did yesterday, that's a pretty evil looking tattoo. Just because something looks scary doesn't necessarily mean that it's evil. I don't know what a evil tattoo looks like in the means of, spirituality, but it's all art, right? So, people get angels tattooed on them. And if you follow anything religious, that is really not what they look like. Not getting into that. That's not what this conversation is about. But like, people have an idea of what they just think that is evil. But, it's all what you believe. Other people's beliefs, thoughts really don't matter.
Dude, I tried to get some prints made up. I had like some demonic Derek Noble shit, and I tried to get them like framed and stuff like that, and they wouldn't do it because it's like all demons. Yeah, like I'm in like Asia, so it's like the culture's very different. They wouldn't do it, which is weird. But yeah, man, it's just art, where I draw the line is if it's anything like hate related, like like swastikas and stuff like that, I don't touch that. It's just, man, if you want like a demon, eating, a carcass or whatever, it's like, yeah, that's cool. I'll tattoo that, no problem.
Yeah, I've tattooed plenty of alligators eating people's arms and stuff. Now, I wouldn't want my arm eaten by an alligator, but it's just art.
Absolutely. It's just
all right. So we got a couple more questions on here. I have no idea where we left off. You asked me something.
All right, we're on. Okay. I have kids and I'm trying to learn. It's been hard trying to carve out time to practice drawing for Mig and Thomas. What would you recommend?
So this is going to be a hard one. This is going to hit you in the feelings, not in a bad way, but you will always find time for stuff that you enjoy. I have kids, and I completely understand your feeling, but as human beings, we could run on way less sleep than what we're getting. I promise. It's going to be hard. You're going to have days to where you want to quit, but that's what chasing your dreams is. That's what getting to the next level is sacrificing complacency, sacrificing easeability for what's coming next. So, can you take 2 hours less sleep to practice on artwork or wanting to tattoo for a better life? That's the biggest question. What are you willing to do to get that? And that is all with you. There's no perfect pathway. There's no written out agenda because everyone's life's different. There are things that you can and cannot do. It is up for you to make it happen.
Yeah, and there's always going to be like a bit of a pain period too. Like there's no worthwhile endeavor in life that's like that requires little to no effort. Like anything kind of worthwhile is it's going to be difficult for a while. And yeah, there may be some sacrifices and stuff that you have to make with the short term. Like maybe you might have a little bit less family time for like 3 to 6 months or something like that. But when you look at on the other side of that, what it gets you, a career, doing something that you're passionate about, making a good living, um, it's worth it from my
And
perspective.
yeah, at the end of the day, whenever I think about like, oh, I don't have enough time, all this stuff, I think back about when I was drinking and partying. I would stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 7, and go to work. Like,
Yeah,
if you were willing to do that for a good time, imagine what you would do for a better life. You know,
yeah,
so it all boils down to that.
yeah. I tattooed hungover once. I've only ever done it one time, and yeah, I'd never do it again. It is brutal. But anyway, um, we've got another question here. So, is there a drawing class that comes with a subscription? I'll take this one because I'm doing the fucking drawing classes. So right now, we said this at the beginning of the call, but we're totally refilming the Artist Accelerator course. I'm doing all the drawing modules. Okay, what I do is I break down all the most common motifs that you get asked for in tattooing, like skulls, snakes, daggers, hearts, eagles, things like that, and I give you a structure and a process to draw each and every single one of them, so that once you've done it enough times and you've had enough repetition, you don't need the references anymore. And that's when you can start to really innovate and sort of bring in your own style once you've got that foundation. But a lot of the time, I see people draw incorrectly. They try and go in straight away with a hard outline. It's just like, man, you got to build it up. It's like a sculpture. You got to start off with if you use like a Procreate, you start off with a really light brush and you build up the shapes and then you refine it layer by layer by layer. And the piece starts to appear. Too many people just go straight in with a hard black liner. And it's just like, well, yeah, man, like it's not the most optimal way to do it. But yeah, there's a ton of drawing stuff and about to be a bunch of new stuff that's getting added to it as well.
Do you have the
Okay.
ability to see how many people are on the call?
Yeah, we got 30.
30. Cool. How many likes do we have?
I don't know how to see that. I don't. I can't give you that information.
Damn.
We're new at this, guys. We haven't done a whole lot of lives yet, but we're going to get better.
Yeah.
Good question here from Ashley Lloyd. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a tracer. I don't have the artist ability. I mash a bunch of different things together to make it unique. Am I wrong to still want this?
No. No, I mean, as long as you're not copying something specifically, 16 likes.
Thanks, Phoenix.
Yeah, thank you. As long as you're taking different elements and bringing them together to create something differently, I think that's what's most important. And with doing that, you are learning what works. So with that, someone else sees 25 likes. Maybe
It's
like
going up. People are liking the thing, man.
maybe they're like, oh, they copied.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
We started a wave.
So with that, it's teaching you something. It's learning as you're doing it, but don't just like copy fully. Like,
Yeah.
if you could tell, then there's probably a problem.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with using references. Okay. When you're using references, right, it's okay to like get inspiration from other stuff, but just blatantly ripping stuff off, like you're going to get called out in tattooing pretty quick. And it's like, you're not going to go as far as what you could have if you sort of develop that skill set. And drawing is a part of tattooing. Like, if you hate drawing, it's kind of like, you sort of hate part of the job, but it's a skill that can be learned like anything, right? And a lot of new artists as well, they're like absolutely scared of like copying stuff. I strongly encourage people to use references, okay, to learn. Okay, and then with repetition, once you've drawn 50 skulls, hearts, eagles, daggers, whatever, it gets a lot easier the more times that you do it. The first few that you do are going to be shit, and that's normal, like with any skill that you do. And you're just using those references for inspiration. I'm not talking about like tracing them and stuff, but just like looking at them and pulling different ideas from here and there and like getting inspiration, like, modeling that and creating your own version of it. It makes the drawing a lot easier when you have those resources. And the more that you're able to do, the less reliant you'll be on the references.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you trace, you definitely don't learn anywhere near as much as if you like draw by eye.
Okay, so do you need a PC or some way to do digital art to do the course? So no, you could absolutely do everything on pencil and paper, but it is highly recommended that you get used to an iPad Pro right now in the industry.
It's the future.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's the future. It is now. Like, we are in it. So I would highly recommend looking into one of them. Let's see here. How do you know what volts to turn up for different needles? This is completely depending on your hand speed. There is no exact voltage for a specific set of needles and or a specific machine because everyone is different. Machines hit differently. Needles are used differently. So therefore, if you are running a 9-round liner, let's say at 8 volts, you're using a Bishop Packer, something like that has a 4.2 stroke. Your hand speed matches that. But if you go down to a 3, goes into the skin a whole lot easier, so it can definitely cause a lot more damage. So most of the time people turn down their machine. I increase my hand speed because if you go too slow with a 3-round liner, you see all those little inconsistencies and bumps, but that just kind of comes with experience. All these things you have to get behind the machine to understand how it works, how you naturally work, being a tattoo artist. That was a lot. I went on a rant.
I'd also say too, it's like, guys, it's rather than like asking like what's the specific voltage for this needle, it's much more valuable to understand principles, right? So a thicker needle or a needle with more sharps in the grouping, okay, is going to have more surface tension that's going to need to penetrate the skin. Okay, so you've either got to move slower to let the needle hit the skin more times, or you've got to turn up the voltage to compensate for that. Whereas like a 3-liner, it's like a hot knife through butter. Okay, it just glides through the skin almost effortlessly. Okay, so that's obviously going to need a lot less power. You can move a lot faster with a smaller needle because it's just so much easier to penetrate the skin. Okay. Also, parts of the body that are naturally protected by anatomy. So, like for example, your ribs, your inner thighs, and all that stuff. That skin is typically thinner. It hurts more, and you generally have to be more delicate with, as opposed to like somewhere like an elbow or a kneecap where it's getting like bumped around and stuff like that.
Still hurts. Still hurts a lot. But, yeah.
Older people will have thinner skin than younger people. Okay, men typically have slightly thicker skin than women. And the first 5 or 10 minutes of a tattoo, you're literally just figuring out the skin because everyone is that little bit different. That's why whenever I do a tattoo, like I always do my first line that's next to an area where there's a bunch of black, if it's available within the design.
And I'll always start out my tattoo lighter. So like I'm getting a feel for that first line, and I'm only going about, an inch, and then I'll kind of pick up, look at it. And if it's like a little light, then I know, okay, go a little deeper. It's going to set that perfectly. And yeah, I always want to start out getting a feel for the skin, understanding how it reacts within that first second or two. And then the rest of the tattoo is easy sailing. Let's see here. Paying off and not copying stuff. What do you think about super old vintage flash? I see many tattoo artists blaming copy Jerry Flash. Yeah, so
It's kind of fair game. You know, like so many people rips Sailor Jerry Flash, but he also intentionally
how
fucked
would
a
you
few
do
of them up.
that?
Oh, you can do a thing where you can hide stuff and you can show the comments.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, look at us. We're learning shit.
There you go. I used to be super tech savvy, but now I'm like,
yeah.
retarded.
But anyway, remember, I'm gonna get hate for this too. Old Flash is drawn terribly. Like it is. It's not drawn good. I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm not a big fan of it. Proportions are off. Looks weird. So I will kind of change a few things. And also, Jay told me Sailor Jerry specifically would mess things up in his designs, so other people copied them and they were messed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just be careful. You know, no one's gonna give you any shit for like copying one, but I just think they're ugly, and that is just an opinion that I have.
They're not the greatest things to copy. So
Like an old school rose, man, they're just like little cabbages, dude.
yeah, not like the trad stuff that you see these days is just way
Yeah.
in my opinion. I like it way more than the old school stuff.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, we've got just going through. I prefer females to tattoo. Their skin is softer and they handle pain way better. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So this is a thing, right? Like women tend to moisturize their skin and look after themselves. So yeah, typically their skin is like healthier and better to tattoo, and they also generally have better hygiene. Dudes, on average, smell worse than women. So
Fair.
yeah, that's. I think anyone can vouch for that. So, and in terms of the pain as well, I think because women have to deal with like childbirth and stuff like that, they're kind of yeah, they tend to hang pretty well. Don't get me wrong, there's exceptions. Like I've tattooed women that have terribly handled the pain.
Yeah.
I
would, man. I would say that it's person to person. You know? Yeah. And different pain is completely different. I put an axe through my leg, and was cool, calm, and collected the whole time. I am a bitch when I get tattooed. Like, you know, I burnt my face. I was fine through that. I don't like getting tattooed. It's a different type of pain because it's something that I could choose. It's like, why would I sit here when I could just not and leave, you know? So it's just different, and everyone is different. So yeah, pain is relative to differently to everyone.
This is a question for you, Brennan. You've done a lot more tattoos on darker skin than I have. You want to take this one?
Yeah. So suggestions. Stay away with color if you're first starting out. You can do color on darker skin, but it's just a lot harder. You have to think differently about how you approach it. Another thing is if you're doing gray wash, you're pretty much limited on that gray wash. So if you're setting up 10 drops, 8 drops, 6 drops, 3 drops, 1 drop, eliminate the 3 and the 1 because it's not going to stay. You are just causing extra trauma for no reason because it's pointless. It's going to mix with the melanin in the skin, and you're not going to be able to see it anyway. Also, turn up the opacity on your designs so it's more powerful. There's more really dark areas compared to light areas. Contrast. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And it just helps out with kind of making the design read clearer. Stay away from white highlights. Like you see it, you see other artists doing it, but like it ends up turning this really weird yellow. Like I'll show you. I got white over my blackout, and you can see it's not even really 100% white anymore. It's kind of like a yellowish tint. It doesn't look great, so I would stay away from it.
Especially if you tattoo people that are really tanned, because like in Australia, everyone loves the sun. You see a lot of tattoos, or like a lot of the really good color realism stuff comes out of Europe because it's cold over there and they don't see the sun that much, and they're just got an advantage because they're like me. They're just like pale milk, never seen the sun, super deficient in vitamin D, and they just happen to be really good canvases to tattoo because you've got a lot of contrast that you can play with, right? You can use like the lighter shades on someone that's like, you know, like pale AF, and it still shows up. But whereas someone that's like a bricklayer in California, it's like, bro, you know, like that, That's gonna go.
Okay. I have this is a great one. Andrew said, "Do you believe in numbing cream or take?" Yeah, something before a tattoo. That was a big word. And with that, I have a video that I believe I'm filming next week about Tim doing a tattoo on me. I'm going to use numbing cream, so stay tuned. I'm not going to give you an answer until I personally try it out, and it'll be released at some period of time, probably in a month. And I'll have all your answers for that in there for sure. Do you teach glitter or sparkle tattoos? And yeah, we pretty much teach everything. Like I
Yeah.
actually have
It's,
this
it's
right
not
here.
it's not specifically in the course, but we've done like every week we do like live calls and stuff inside of the group, and we do like tattooing seminars and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Brandon literally has one that he's just done right there. Here's one I prepared earlier.
I knew you were going to ask that question.
There you go.
Psychic.
What amazing proof! Just like, oh, do you do glitter tattoos? It's like right here. Yeah. Okay, my wife is super white. Her skin rocks. Oh, good stuff, man. Happy for you. Okay, we've got solid buds. I'm in California. It's illegal to practice on family members. I don't like fake skin. I've tattooed myself 16 times, and I feel like I'm ready for a client.
What? Why?
Yeah, dude, fake skin is hard.
Everything's kind of illegal in California.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit of an over. What's the word? Like a nanny state.
I don't know, but just don't. I can't say that online, but
you can't, man. Don't, whatever that was, just erase it from your memory. But yeah, in terms of like tattooing face skin, it's harder. Tattooing face skin is harder than tattooing people. The way that I like to think of it is training with weights on. If you can do a smooth shade and a clean line on fake skin, and you do a bunch of designs on fake skin, you will be so much better prepared. And the trail of destruction that you will leave on your journey towards learning the tattoo will be far smaller and far less. Because you're just not going to do as much trial and error on people.
So I have a perfect way to explain what I was saying. So someone else said, "Oh, some in Cali and most of mine are done on family." So that's what I was going to say. I'm not going to tell you to do anything that possibly may be against the law, but I can say from reading this that other people have done it.
Oh, do you want to put it back up? There you go.
Yeah. So I did the eye thing, like other people have done it. So that's what I'll say without saying.
Cool. Honor and Ink LLC had to drop off. Appreciate the time. Great. Favorite Pokemon, Charmander. You're Willis's favorite person in the world. Look, Flick's back. He's back with his wife's skin. She's damn near see-through.
Damn.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Have you ever burnt a dead body and then put it in your ink and tattooed someone with it?
I've never burnt a dead body, and if I did, I probably wouldn't tell you on a call. But
that's true. Yeah, it's highly.
I have used ashes that I believed that they said were from their relative. Now, do we really know? That's a whole conspiracy theory, but I'm not going to get into that.
There should be some sort of ID process.
Yeah, but I have taken the sand, put it in an autoclave, and put it in ink. Realistically speaking, 0% of those big particles are getting into the actual ink and going into your tattoo. But if it makes you feel like it's helping you through the terrible process of losing someone, I tell you, I know firsthand how hard that could be. And if that does help you, then by all means, go to someone reputable, make sure it is autoclaved and at least sanitary, not just like in an urn where people are like touching it.
And make sure you watch them do it, because like it's too easy for them to just, hey, give us the ashes, and they just stroll out the back, throw it in the garbage, but have a coffee, and then come out with ink. It's like that'll be $1,000.
Well, no. So first off, it shouldn't charge extra. You really shouldn't. I've never charged extra, and with that, you don't have to see them do it. Like at the end of the day, if you were walking in there,
you've got to trust them.
Yeah, trust them. And if I'm going in to get a tattoo of my family's ashes, and I believe my full life that it is in there, even if it wasn't, who fucking cares, man? Like,
Mm.
like, what does it matter one way or the other at the end of the day? It doesn't. It's just
And
help you.
a lot of people are like, oh, that's going to cause gnarly infections and stuff like that. It's like, bro, have you seen what they do in like the islander countries? Like, they literally tattoo people with like whale bone and then blow salt water out of their mouth onto it. It's like,
No, we're not saying do that.
Don't.
This
I'm
is
just
not
saying,
one of those things we like see other people do it. Wink. I did not wink to this. So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, you're not going to get an infection from, first of all, sterile sand.
mm.
There's no way.
Megan wants to get you out of her head and wants to know how much the payments are.
Payments for what?
Are you talking about the link in bio or like the course thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's on the website, tattooing101.com. Callie, most of mine are done by family. Oh, we've got a lot of questions about the course. Okay, so for the end of the course, do you get licensed? Yes, a great question. I'll take this one. So right now, where the only people that are allowed to give someone a license are like government like bodies, like the health department and stuff like that. Okay, there's currently no online tattooing course that can get you a license in some states. Right, we are working on partnering up, or not partnering up, but like reaching out to states across America to get tattooing one approved as an alternative training pathway. But yeah, there's a lot of states that do require an in-person apprenticeship, and they won't accept any course for the requirements there. In that scenario, what you can do, if you're in a state that requires a license, if you just learn how to, because a lot of people think it's the piece of paper. It's like, oh, if I just had the piece of paper, I'd be able to get into tattooing, when they can't even do a straight line. It's like, if you can tattoo well, getting into tattooing is easy. Okay. Yeah. When you've got a solid portfolio of fake skins, you've got good art and a social media presence, okay, then you can get a paper apprenticeship, right? You can walk into any studio and says like, hey, I just need my paperwork. I already know how to do this. My stuff is good. I've got people ready, willing to go. At that point, they'll maybe want to see you do a few tattoos in front of them just so they can verify that you're not full of shit. And then when they see that you can tattoo safely, you're not going to give anyone AIDS, you're not going to do any like crazy shit or anything like that, and you can do clean quality tattoos on people, then you just treat it like a regular artist, but on paper, you would be an apprentice.
Yeah, and to kind of justify that stuff, like my apprentice, my artist license doesn't mean anything. It does not get me anywhere in the tattoo industry. I could light it on fire right now and have nothing and still be able to get a job somewhere. That goes the same with like, all the competitions and like, the conventions, that's super cool. It's dope when you first start out, but the older you get, the more, not older, but the more you're in the tattoo industry, you realize like everything like that is usually kind of scammy. They're known, they're just like the people that are judging it or people that actually know the people there. Like I've seen plenty of times people that should have won that haven't.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of politics in tattooing. A lot of politics, especially on the supply side. But we can't go too deep into that because it's secrets. But yeah, anyway.
I don't even know what secret it is.
Yeah. But basically, all the needles come from like the same 5 factories. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. In South Carolina, you need 1,000 hours under an apprenticeship to be legally tattooing. After the course, would you provide that? Yeah. So if the state says that they require in-person training, then it means in-person training. So what we just talked about before, learn how to tattoo, get the skill set. Once you can tattoo, it's not hard to get into a shop. And if you can already tattoo, you're not going to be held down in an apprenticeship because you've already got the skill set. There's nothing to teach you. Okay. If you come in, you're already better than some of the artists that are there. Okay. Because you've put in the hours. Then they're not going to make it like, oh, yeah, I know you can tattoo, but I'm going to need you to mop floors for 2 years. Like, they're not going to do that. That only happens if you come in with nothing. You got no knowledge, you got no skill set, and you got no social media. Then it's like, yeah, you will be hit with the blunt end of the apprentice stick. And yeah.
And it is a very painful stick.
It is, and it doesn't quit. Some companies actually make cremation inks using your ashes, but you have to ship those ashes to them, and they will come back. Yeah, wow, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I would love to do a test and see if there are ashes in that bottle.
Megan's just clarifying she's not interested in the link in bio. She just wants the payments for the course. It's if you want to get it up front, it's $600, or if you want to get the payments, it's $59 a month for 12 months. After that, you got it for life. Wombat. So, do you guys recommend new artists do when they feel stuck and don't feel like they're making progress on drawing and designing skills?
Get out of your head. You are always going to make progress on anything that you are working on. The only holdback is the fact that you cannot see it as a person. So, best advice for that is keep going, get out of your head, and look at some artwork that you did when you first started. I promise you, you will see a difference.
Not only that, it's like, man, if you're intentional about what you draw, because so many people when they're learning how to draw, they're just like, oh, what do I draw today? And then they end up spending like 30 minutes just looking for stuff off of Pinterest for like your inspiration, waste a ton of time. On a Sunday night, get a Google sheet, plan out what you're going to draw for the entire week, get your references in advance so that when, each day comes around, bam, you know exactly what you got to work on. Your references are right there, and your output is going to be way, way higher. The more reps that you put in, the faster your progress will be. This is why it's so important to not be a perfectionist when you first start drawing designs, because that extra 12 hours that you spend to make it maybe 20% better is nowhere near the value that you could get if you did another 3 drawings and made 3 drawings worth of progress. Okay? Get it 80% of the way there, and instead of trying to fix that panther or that skull or something like this, draw 3 more.
Yeah.
3 completely new ones, and they'll get much, much better each time. Your progress will be far more significant.
What if I have everything but the social media? Would I be easy to get into a shop? No. And yes, depends on the shop you go to. There's plenty of different shops that don't like social media. There's plenty of shops that do. It's always going to be easier to get into anything the more experience that you have on that craft. So nowadays, social media is a huge part. Like if no one had social media, okay, so if someone did not have social media walking into my shop asking for a job, I'll tell them to go home, start it that day, come back tomorrow with social media. Like there's a 0% chance that you're ever going to make a substantial living with the world we live today without social media.
Yeah. And not only that too, social media makes up for a lot. When you start tattooing, depending on where you live, everyone is ahead of you. Okay. You're coming into, an industry where people have been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years. Okay. If you try and compete on who can do the cleanest lines and the smoothest shading, it's like, man, you're fighting an uphill battle. But almost no tattooers, especially established ones, spend any time on social media. It's very easy to surpass established tattoo artists on the marketing side. You don't even have to be that good at it. You can make so many mistakes with social media and still get results. Your results won't be as good, but they're far better than if you were to do nothing. You don't even have to. So many people overthink the social media stuff. Literally just talk about what you're doing. If you look at our Instagram, I answer questions on IG. I talk about what I'm filming that day. If I was, focusing it more on like my personal tattooing Instagram, I'd be talking about what's the shop life like. I'd film my interactions with clients, the crazy stories and shit that come out when you're tattooing them. If you're just learning to tattoo and you're not in a shop yet, talk about the fake skins that you're tattooing. What did you fuck up? What did you learn? Why do you want to become a tattoo artist? Why are you risking it all and quitting this safe and stable job to pursue a dream? Talk about the victories, the highs, the lows, the failures, the wins. That's what people connect with. People don't give a fuck about, it's like, oh, here's 3 tips on, how to heal your tattoos better. It's boring as shit. People connect with the journey.
Yeah. And let's be serious, we've all had ups and downs in our life, so it's very easy to connect to someone that's not bullshitting. That's why, I have no problem talking about any failures that I've had in my life or, struggles that I've had, because it's normal. Everyone's gone through the same thing. And if you haven't, you probably haven't been able to grow in this lifetime, and that sucks for you. Because the biggest issues I've ever had in my life were able to create me being a better person.
Yeah.
How fast can I learn to tattoo with your online school, and can I make payments? Yes, you can make payments. Nathan went over that a little bit ago, and this completely depends on you. Um, I cannot give you a time frame because I do not know your life, what you do, how much time you have to dedicate to it. Now, I have dabbled with the idea of seeing how fast I could train someone to tattoo in 1 week. And I am very confident that 100% dedication to the idea of being able to
I'm
tattoo
going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
by the end of that week, I can make it happen. Now that is in person. We're talking about that idea, actually proving that on a video for YouTube. So, or it'll be a series because it'll be a whole week. But I am confident in that fact. If I get a full week, 100% dedication, I can make someone be able to tattoo by the end of that week. But it depends on how dedicated you are, how much time you have to go into it, all of that good stuff. Is it normal to underestimate yourself in the tattoo industry? Yes. It's also very easy to overestimate yourself in the tattoo industry. People tend to get big heads for some reason. I don't really know why, but they start to believe that they are way better than everyone else and that they're just the shit, which is super annoying to me because I was lucky to have plenty of humbling moments in my life to where I would never let that happen. But on the same thing, like you could just feel like you're never going to make it because you're so small. And this is one of those things like I could sit here and come up with like the best motivational speech ever and get everyone super hyped up. But the reality is, if you do not want to make it happen, it's not going to happen. If you want to make it happen, it will happen. There's no motivational speech that will help you because if I just hype you up with all these things, then you get into it and go through a hard time.
Yeah.
That goes out the window. All that happy bullshit I just told you completely falls apart because you're going through a rough time. But if I tell you the facts, like put in the work, do what you have to do to make it happen, and nothing can stop you at that point. Like if I wanted to become a doctor right now, and that is my lifelong mission, I go to school and do that. As long as I study and have the ability to do the things, I could do that. There's nothing in this world stopping me
Yeah.
doing whatever I want.
Except for me, like I'll never be in the NBA. I've got a busted knee and I'm 32. It's like,
Yeah.
but like physical. But yeah, with tattooing, man, it's one of those things. Well, the more you put in, the more you get out. For example, one of our students, what's his name? Nick. He's like from the UK. He's 17 years old. One guy that I taught how to tattoo. He's young, doesn't need that much sleep. He's got a bullshit job that doesn't really matter that much, and he doesn't, if he gets fired, it's not a big deal. And he lives at home with his parents. Okay, that dude can put in like eight to 10 hours a day plus. That guy's going to learn quicker than someone that can only put in 3 or 4. Okay, the more you can put in, the more you can get out. Some people, like on our website, it says learn how to tattoo in 90 days. That's like the fastest that we've seen someone do it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you need, like if you don't have, a ton of time to put in each per day, yeah, longer. It may take 4, 5, 6 months. We've got some people that have been, they're working 2 jobs, something crazy like that. They've got kids and they're only working on like 1 or 2 hours a day. They make progress, but it does extend the time frame a bit.
I'm gonna go drain the gizzard real quick, buddy. I'll be back.
All right, so yeah, hold the fort. Got to be okay with this one. Got to be so good to see the end. I like, and Brandon, yeah, I see the struggles and the shop issues in the beginning. Yeah, you guys are so happy. My daughter took her nap. Good stuff. Justin, flying the plan tomorrow. Is there anything I need to bring or have to start tomorrow or Saturday? No, man. If you got like you just want to have like stuff to draw. Like if you got an iPad, that's like preferable, but you can still draw on pencil and paper. Also, as well, I haven't announced this on social media, but we're actually giving away 3 Critical Talk tattoo machines in our student group on the 18th of August. So if you guys do jump on the course, you'll get access to that. We do monthly giveaways and stuff for our students. Sometimes it's fake skins, sometimes it's inks and stuff like that, but we give a lot back. We got, how do you know the type of pins to use for lines and shading? So it just depends on the artwork, right? Like I do a lot of neotrad stuff, and that typically has 2 to 3 line weights. So for my thin lines, I generally use a 3-liner. For my thick stuff, I either use like an 11 or a 14. And that's just the way that I tattoo. I also know that over time, the lines that you put into a skin are going to thicken and expand. So if I do, like a really tight, small geometrical tattoo with a 14 liner, and there's only these tiny little gaps in between the lines, it's probably not going to age that well. So I'll use a thinner liner because I know it's got a bit of room to expand. It depends on the artwork mostly. And that's why it's so helpful to tattoo fakes in, because you just kind of get to know. It's like, okay, this is how thick a 9 is. This is how thick a 3 is. And you start to know your tools a lot better. That's the top video on YouTube vlog on that 1 week. Brandon and a subscriber making a tattoo artist. Yeah. That's the top video on YouTube, the vlog. That 1 week. Hell yeah. Ruben, I'm going to buy a class this week. I've been watching Sean for a while now. I want to learn more. Very good stuff, man. Ruben, looking forward to seeing you in the group, bro. None your business. You're Australian. You are fucking Australian. Whoever your real name is, none your business. Do you watch the Big Les show? Because that's awesome. Appreciate you guys dealing with me for a while. I seriously enjoy these live streams. Where can we actually talk back and forth and get some real-time advice? I've got to pop out, stay real. Yeah, so in our Facebook group for our students, we do a weekly live call. I'm actually doing that in like 4.5 hours. I do like a live feedback call. So students will submit their work. I'll just blast through them. Usually those calls go for like 2 hours sometimes. Sometimes Brandon does them. Sometimes I do them. And yeah, they're really, really useful too. You can learn a lot from other people's feedback too, because a lot of the time a lot of artists struggle with the same things when they first get started. I have very little tattoo experience and would love a chance to prove you can or cannot learn it all in 1 week. Message Brandon, see what he says. We do have a pretty stacked film schedule though, so yeah, see what his availability is like. Robin Cooper, do you think to practice, I've been looking into getting a tattoo. Sorry guys, my eyes aren't that good. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Do you think to practice, I've been looking into getting a tattoo pen and ink cartridge. I've already gotten a practice book and line work stuff. That's good. I mean, definitely want to get a pen. In my opinion, starting out with a rotary pen is just like one of those tattooing pen machines. Is way easier than like a coil or something like that. It's just way easier to use. Highly, highly recommend practicing on fake skin in the beginning. Yes, it's harder than tattooing people, but it's like Goku when he's on planet Kai and he's got the weights and he's fighting and stuff, and I'm a millennial. Fucking hell. How can I edit my pictures on my phone or tablet when trying to create a font stencil? I don't think you can, or I mean, not that I know of. I do everything on my iPad. If I'm making stencils, I just do them all on my iPad. Phone screen isn't really big enough. I do so typically a lot bigger tattoos than what I can fit on a phone screen. Taylor McNeil, I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to try and set up another call for Inner Circle program. So the Artist Accelerator program earlier, I'm in Inner Circle one. Sweet. Diana, yeah, Diana's our community manager, by the way. She's on this call right now. She helps kind of manage the group because there's quite a few people in it, but she is awesome. If you guys jump in the course, say hi to her. Stephanie's got a question. How do you read the tattoo voltage? How do you know it's good for lining or shading? It's you, Brendan.
I wasn't listening.
Questions on the screen. How do you read the tattoo voltage? How do you know it's good for lining or shading?
You read the tattoo voltage with your eyeballs. Depending on the machine, the numbers that come up is the voltage, and you could change that to match your hand speed. So as a rule of thumb, you're going to want to turn it down for shading. But this is all depending on your machine. Like don't just pick what number I'm using. It's not going to work for you. I tattoo way faster than even Nathan. So like if he tried to use my machine and just picked it up with my settings, it might not work for him.
Yeah, Brennan tattoos dramatically different to how I do. He's much faster. It's quite fascinating to watch, actually. Whenever you watch my tattooing tutorials, they go for like the editing team gets the shits because it takes them way longer to edit, and then Brennan's are just like bam, done.
Yeah, just a part of it, just learning differently. How do you think, as a 17-year-old turning 18-year as a girl wanting to get in the industry? I think that, this is a great industry to get into. Just be careful. There's a lot of creepy people and everything. Like, it doesn't matter what you're getting into. Creeps are fucking everywhere. So
they're everywhere.
Yeah. Just be careful. I'd hate for someone else to destroy the good that this industry can be just because of their selfish reasons. So just be aware of that and carry a gun. No.
Or a taser, pepper spray.
Yeah.
No, I think it's weird. Just be aware of the red flags, right? If you go in a shop and you don't feel comfortable or whatever, there's plenty of other shops, okay? And you'll be able to get into those shops as long as your art's where it needs to be. When you go to a shop and they say no, that doesn't mean no forever. That's a not right now. Okay, if you come back in 3 to 6 months and your art is dramatically better, that's a whole different situation. It's not just like you get one opportunity to walk into the studio, and if they say no, you're cast out forever. That's only if you like come in there and like shit in the bathroom and don't flush the toilet. Like at that point, you'll never have a job in that studio. But as long as you're not weird and you're respectful and stuff like that, and they'll give you some pointers on your art if they're nice. Sometimes they're not nice, but if they are nice, they'll give you some pointers. Implement everything they tell you. Come back. Most people never come back a second time. If you come back a second time to a tattoo studio, you're in the 1%. And you will automatically be remembered just because of that. It shows that you've got grit. Most people never come back a second time. All right. I really enjoyed the video with Brennan's wife, where she shared her experience as a young tattoo artist. Yeah, it's heavy.
That was, 2 years ago? Crazy.
Just out of curiosity, guys, like we're probably going to wrap it up pretty soon. It's 3:30 in the morning for me, and I'm no good unless I've had like 6 hours sleep. What kind of content do you guys want to see more of? Like, do you like it when we do live streams and stuff like that, or do you want to see more tattooing stuff? Do you want to see more lifestyle stuff?
Nathan,
do you kind of want to like know a bit more about me and Brendan, or do you not give a shit and you just want to see more tats? Like, what do you guys want to see on the channel?
I'm going to be really upset if no one wants to know more about me. So be wary of that before you reply.
People are just not interested in this. Like, where's the bio link? Give us the bio link. Robin says lives. Okay. The live was pretty chill. All the tat info is helpful. Live stream, tattooing. Okay. Q&As. These Q&As are sick, by the way, too. Like we don't have to do like a whole lot of prep. We kind of just come in and hang out, which I think is like the most authentic type of content you can make.
More history of you too.
Oh, thanks, man. I feel valid.
Yeah.
More beginner stuff, life experience kind of stuff, live stream. Okay. I'd like to see more tattoos and stuff. Finish explaining things as we go.
Phoenix, I would say that I've done that so much. And we're never going to stop doing that. But it gets tiring doing that all the time, which is no problem. It's still great to do, but I do like to branch out and do some more fun things as well. Let's see here. Not the pew pew, how Southern American of you. Wait, did I? I don't know where the pew pews came from. I
think someone else was talking about having a gun.
Oh, I was
okay.
Like, here?
Look, guys, we're probably going to bounce. Quick heads up for everyone that's just coming on now. We are giving away 3 Critical Talk tattoo machines on the 18th of August, but it's only inside of our mastermind group with our students. So if you want to get access to that, jump in the course. We do monthly giveaways. Sometimes it's fake skins, machines, needles, inks, all that kind of stuff. We also do Pimp My Studio sometimes. I don't know why we don't talk about this. We literally go to our students' shops and like we buy them like a bunch of furniture and like flash and stuff to put on the walls and help them set it up. It's like a video on our channel, Jay doing it with a student before. And yeah, it's a whole bunch of like events and stuff like that we do inside the group. So it's pretty sick. Cool. We're going to bounce. Thanks for coming on, guys. Love you all.
I'm not bouncing. I have old knees, but I'm going to get up and walk out. You may bounce if you want, Nathan.
All right, catch you guys.